Welcome to day 12 of the path to my purpose. So today we're going to be having a look at values. So values, as the word suggests, are what's valuable to you, what you see as important in the grand scheme of things. And these values, they come from a really deep place within us. Some of them come from the way that we are brought up, the values that our parents pass on to us. And those are very much worldly values. And then, of course, you'll have your spiritual values. These are the values that are deep, inherent within your highest self. So these are brought from other lifetimes than they're probably part of your astrological chart, part of your numerology, the reason why you were given your name. Everything happens for a reason. So you were born at a certain time because that was the time that you chose before you came into this lifetime to be born at that time. And from having read so much about numerology and the name, where the letters of the name determine our destiny, which we've looked at previously in the workshop, that I've read that your name is given to you from a celestial place rather than a parent or a guardian giving you that name. It's almost as though they were divinely guided to give you that name because you were meant to have it. It feels nice to believe that. And it fits really well with astrology, I find, certainly when I look at clients' charts and see how the numerology ties in with it really, really seamlessly. So I hope that you found that for yourself. So what we're going to do today is have a look at a values sheet. So I have shared with you a list of different words, and these are values related words, and also the meaning of those words. So I'd like you to have a look through those. So there are 58 of those. Now obviously those are not an exhaustive list of values, so you will find that some of those resonate really strongly with you, others not so much. So I'd like you to go through the values list and to rate them from on a scale of 0 to 6. So each one of those, rate them 0 to 6. So 0 being I cannot relate to that whatsoever. So for example, patience would score very low for me. It's not a value of mine. And 6 being the highest, like yes, that completely resonates with me. That's very important to me. So go through all of those and then rate them from 0, lowest, 6, highest. And then look through and see where you've got 6s. And then also anything that has rated 4 or 5. The 4s, yeah, they're important. So anything 5 or 6 would be very, very important to you. They would be a very strong relevance, strong resonance for you. And then when you've got your list of values, just take a look through them and then apply them to the activity that we did in day 11. So we were looking at different aspects of your life, and write some of those values down when it comes to parenting, personal growth, leisure, spirituality, health, work, community and environment, family relationships, intimate relationships and social relationships. So where do those values that are super important to you, where do they fit in to those different aspects of your life? So you might want to pause the video and go away and do those activities now, or you might want to watch the rest of the video and then come back and do the whole thing together. So once you have taken some of those values that you have really rated as being very high in your life, I'd like you to look at where you feel as though you aren't getting the most out of your life, where those values or what's valuable to you isn't happening in certain areas. So for example, if responsibility is an important value to you, to be responsible and accountable is an important part of your work, and yet you feel as though you don't have responsibility, you're always taking orders from other people, then that is really great, because it shines a light on an area of your life where it's important for you to acknowledge that you feel purposeful in that area, that responsibility is important. So you could say, where else can I have responsibility? So that might be an aim for the future, for your career, for your work. And maybe it's not possible for that to happen right now, but there are other areas where you can take that value and you can apply it. So for example, responsibility, you could apply that to your health. You could take responsibility for doing certain things around improving your lifestyle, your eating habits, your sleep. You could take responsibility in your community. So you could go around picking up litter, or you could organize certain things. There's always ways to apply these values in our lives. Let's give you another example of, let's have a look. So one of the important values for me is pleasure. So when I look at my work, I get a lot of pleasure out of my work. I do what I love on a daily basis. In my leisure time, do I get as much pleasure? Am I making time for that? So I would say that would be an area where that value isn't being applied. So you've got to look across the board of your whole life, not just in the areas where you assume that that's the place where you would use that most. It needs to, that's an important value to you. It's what's valuable to you. And when we're not getting value out of our everyday life, that's when we feel purposeless, where we don't feel like we're needed or appreciated, or we feel that our life is stuck and lackluster. And this is where we're pinpointing some of these things that are on a core level really, really important to us. And if those things are missing in significant aspects of our lives, that can make us feel really bad. So the final activity that I have for you today is to just have a look and see where it is that you feel like you are wasting time or money right now. So what are you doing in your life? And look at these key areas. Where are you wasting time and money? What are you doing that's draining your energy? And what have you quit or withdrawn from? So sometimes we stop doing something. For example, my daughter has this really strong value about learning Spanish because that's my mother's native language. And I went to school in Mexico, so I learned to speak Spanish. And my daughter that's a really big value of hers, is this personal development when it comes to Spanish. So she really wants to do Spanish. So at university, she signed up for this Spanish course, and a lot of it was very practical based, a lot of conversational Spanish, and the teacher was an actual Spanish native speaker and ran the whole class speaking Spanish. But my daughter found it really difficult, and she also had a lot of other work on, so she quit the course. She withdrew from it. And we're working through talking to each other, me and her, about her value about Spanish, why she withdrew, what that means, where she's maybe missing out because that's valuable to her, and other ways in which she can bring that value into her life, and why she's put it off at this time. Maybe there's a fear lurking in there that we're going to have a look and uncover. So also, the final thing I'd like you to look at is, what do you keep putting off? So for example, you might have a goal to do an exercise plan or a healthy eating plan, and you might think, right, I'm going to do that, but you keep putting it off. You keep saying, well, I'll begin it next month, and then I'll begin it at the end of summer because I'll be eating lots of barbecues and going enjoying myself, and then, oh no, Christmas is coming, right, I'll start in the new year. So this could go on for ages, can't it? These kind of intentions. So it's a value that's really important for you, the self-care, the health, but you keep putting that off. So have a look and think about, why is it? What is it that you keep putting off? Where is there a value around that? And what actions could you take to align what you want to do with that value? So if it's valuable to you, where are you missing out by not pursuing that, or not, putting it off over and over again? And where would it really help you? How would it really improve your life in the long run? So you've got this value, and then you've got the improvement. What is it that's actually going to give you by beginning it and recognizing what's truly important? So I've given you a lot to think about today, I know, but these things are important because they're valuable, they mean something very special to you, and they're also a really big part of your purpose, and really delving in and taking the layers away of all the reasons why we don't do things, but how just picking out 2 or 3 things can make such a really amazing difference in our lives. So good luck with that activity, and let me know how you get on.